What's up, good people? Hey, y'all good? I'm going to jump right into this one, man. So I got two emails. I'm in my studio. I got two emails today, this afternoon. And the emails were the same, but they were different. I don't want to bore you with the details, although some of the details for one situation is very salacious. I'm not going to bore you with that. But what do you do when you feel like somebody has taken something that is yours? They've just taken it. One case, a man had his girlfriend, his words, taken. He took my girlfriend. He came in, he smoothed, and he took her. All right. And another situation was a position. He came in and he smoothed and took the position, the job that I had. He took it. All right. So to have somebody take something from you, unless it's a robbery, okay, they broke in, they broke the law, they did something like that. It's hard for me to accept words like they took it. All right. They took it. So my advice to both of them, or my comments to both of them, was direct. And y'all know me. I can be a little direct sometimes, but I try to keep it as real as possible. And I have 3 points, and I don't want to go too long with this video, but I want to, hopefully you can learn something from this. The number one question I asked both of them was, hey, did you do your best? Because it's easy to talk about what somebody took and how they came in and they did wrong and they took something that belonged to you. But the truth is, did you do your best to keep it? All right. And sometimes your best is not enough, and you got to be okay with that. Have you ever thought that giving your best sometimes is just not enough, particularly when relationship, you've been in the relationship for 20 years, okay? Marriage or whatever, relationship. All right, 20 years is a long time you ain't married. That's another video. Let's say 5 years, okay? You've been in the relationship for 5 years. People change, okay? Have you updated what you know about her to make sure that you're relevant, as relevant in year 4.5 as you were in, year 1? Did you do your best? Your best is I studied, I understood, I learned, I paid attention. If she liked, one thing this year, okay, maybe she's, 5 years older now. She don't like those same things. And if you try to do in year 5 what you did in year 1 and it's not effective, sometimes you got to change up what you do. Same thing with your job. All right. With your job, some positions you got to keep learning. All right. You knew enough to get hired. Do you know enough to stay hired? One thing is to get, another thing is to keep. And in order to keep, you have to do your best. That's number one. And then number two, okay, Dan, I'm telling you, I'm direct. Number two is, I'm hesitant to say it. Were you the best option? Think about it. I think sometimes we put it too much on other people. Let's talk about a job. In a job, we put it on people too much. We depend on their loyalty. We depend on our likability, that they would keep us in a position. When the truth is, let's remove their loyalty to you. Let's remove the fact that they like you, that you've been there for a long time. Let's just look at X's and O's. And can you say that you deserve to stay on your job simply off of the X's and O's? Could you keep that position? Did you bring enough to the bottom line, significant enough to where they would keep you on that job, whether they liked you or not, okay, whether or not they were loyal or anything? You should be so good at what you do, the best option at what you do, that even if they don't like you, if they're the most unloyal company in the world, the results you bring to the table are significant enough that they ain't got to like you, but you bring something to that bottom line. Is that the case? Even in relationships, are you the best option? Now, I know marriage can get a little sticky because it's a covenant before God and people don't want to break that. But I do believe also that you still got to be able to hold your weight in a relationship. You can't just lean on somebody to say, hey, you made a commitment before God to stay. You can't leave. Really? Come on, man. Let's just be real here. People stay with you because, not just because you're good, people overlook good. They do not overlook great. And the truth is, if you were all of those things, loyal, faithful, did a great job, you studied your craft, you stepped to the table and everything, then guess what? If they walked away from you because something was going on with them, relationship or a job, guess what's going to happen? Y'all already can fill in the blanks. Somebody else is going to hire you. That's just how that goes. All right. Did you do your best? Were you the best option? And here's the final one. Are you ready? The final one is this. You got to learn what's yours and what's not yours. Don't take ownership of something that is not yours. You can't take ownership of a job that you don't own. That's their job. What you can take ownership of is your role or your effort, your responsibility to the role that they gave you to make sure that you do your best. That you can take ownership of. But at the end of the day, they can take that job away. Why? Because it's theirs. Same thing with a person. And again, it gets sticky. All right. You cannot own a person. Last time I checked, slavery was abolished a long time ago. You don't own people. So what you can do is take ownership of the role that you play in somebody's life. You can take ownership of that. Make sure that you step up your game. Make sure that you still qualify. Still make sure that you are on point to do the best that you can. And typically, when you do your best, when you take ownership of the role that you have in somebody's life, like my wife, she has to take ownership of the role that she has in my life. There's some things that I outsource a lot of things. But there's some things that I cannot outsource. Hear me? If she's tired, she don't feel like it, there are some things, y'all know where I'm going, I can't outsource. Okay? So what I have to do is make sure that she is cool with me, that I do what it takes to make her still, watch this, give to me that role to be able to, to manage and to take ownership of that role. Like I'm her husband. And therefore, I got to make sure that I do my best. I got to make sure that I am still the best option, okay? If I got with her and I was 180, I can't be like 345 now talking about some you married me. Guess what? That's a problem. That's a problem. Things happen, life happens, but I think that once you have willingness and once you have a certain amount of work ethic about yourself, I don't know it, but I'm willing to learn it. I don't have it, but I'm willing to get it. If what is necessary I don't own, then my grind and my willingness to be able to learn it and get it, ascertain it, that's real. And nobody can overlook that, family. Nobody can. So whether it's a position or whether it's a person, the first place that you have to look is within yourself. Now, let me close it with this. Jeremiah 29:11 says, the Lord says, I know the plans that I have for you. I got plans to prosper you, to bring you to an expected end. I got some good stuff for you. Now, what God gives you, no man can take away. If it's something that is yours, what God says is yours, and I don't mean to preach to you, but I have to. But God says what he gives you, that's yours. The position is yours. I don't care who else is more qualified. If God says it's yours, it's yours. I don't care who else is, got that Idris Elba on them, or Denzel on them. Okay. You with your Flavor Flav self, maybe some of you like Flavor Flav. I don't know, whatever. You with your Flavor Flav self, if God says that, hey, this is yours and I'm going to hook this whole situation up, can't nobody take that away from you. So I don't want you to play the victim today. Do not play the victim. Stop playing the victim's card. You're not a victim. You have a whole lot of victory in you. And then the main thing is also this, go where you're needed. Don't try to stay around and hold on to some stuff because, you're depending on them to be nice and kind. No, if you're needed, trust me, you're needed. Go where you're needed. Spend your life and your energy on where you are needed. And that's how you'll continue to win. All right. Hope I answered the question. And indeed, as always, man up.